Hello guys, my name is Dr. Possibility from Excel Academy. Remember that Excel Academy is currently offering online classes which are starting on 4th December 2022. Please make sure that you register with us and please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So in today's class, I'm just going to explain to you the reproduction system, specifically the prefertilization events. So when we talk of prefertilization events, these are just events that takes place before the actual fertilization. But before we go in detail, we are going to first explain what reproduction is. So as you are aware, there are two types of reproduction. We have two types of reproduction. The first type of reproduction is sexual reproduction, and the other type is asexual reproduction. But because we are dealing with human embryology, we are just going to talk about sexual reproduction. So, what is sexual reproduction? That's the first question that we need to ask ourselves. What is sexual reproduction and what is involved? So when we talk of sexual reproduction, we're just simply talking about the fusion of the male gametes and the female gametes. So sexual reproduction, like I have said, is the fusion. Okay, so when we talk of the word fusion, we simply mean the joining. Okay, so it's the fusion of the male gametes. So two things are involved here. There is the male and the female. So there is the fusion of the male gametes and the female gametes. So male gametes and female gametes. So please make sure that you subscribe to our channel and also make sure that you register with us. Okay, so now I have mentioned two important things in this subject. The first thing I've mentioned is the female gametes. So the first thing I've mentioned is the female gametes. So the female gamete is known as the oocyte. Okay, so the female gamete is known as the oocyte. And when we talk of the male gamete, we are talking about the sperm. We all know that it is through the fusion of these two things there we have the process of what? Fertilization. It is because of the fusion of these two small cells we are able to see a baby being born, and we are able to see a woman being pregnant. All that is because of this process of sexual reproduction. Now, we have said that sexual reproduction is the fusion of these two cells, but we need to know, where do these gametes come from? Where do gametes come from? Alright, so this is the question that everyone needs to know. Where do gametes come from? Where do gametes come from? So when we talk of where gametes come from, we can just simply say gametes are just direct descendants of primordial germ cells. Gametes are just descendants of primordial germ cells. So in short, we are simply saying gametes come from what? Primordial germ cells. So I'm going to explain bit by bit about these germ cells, how they start and how they end up being sperms or cells. So these primordial germ cells are first observed in the walls of the yolk sac. These primordial germ cells are first observed in the walls of the yolk sac. That's a very important point. So primordial germ cells are first observed in the what? In the walls of the yolk sac. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever I shall write is important. Primordial germ cells are observed in the walls of the what? The yolk sac. So some of you may be confused. What is this yolk sac? What are we talking about? So majority of us are debating right now. So when we talk of a yolk sac, okay, a yolk sac is a structure. A yolk sac is just a structure that develops. It's just a structure that develops inside the uterus. Inside the uterus. Remember, when you talk of the organs of the female reproductive system, the uterus is part of the female reproductive system. So inside the uterus, we normally have what we call the yolk sac. So this yolk sac is normally observed during the early stages of pregnancy. So during the early stages of pregnancy, we are able to see the yolk sac. Okay, now remember what I said? I said the primordial germ cells are what? Are the cells that give us what? They give us what we are calling the gametes. Okay? They give us what we are calling the gametes. And these gametes are the ones that are responsible for reproduction. But as people who are studying embryology, we also need to understand in which week do these primordial germ cells. Okay? So during week 4, so your lecturer or your professors, they will really want you to know which week does this process takes place. So during week 4 of embryonic development, these primordial germ cells, they move from the walls of the yolk sac to the gonad region. So during week 4 of embryonic developments, the primordial germ cells migrates. Okay, get that point. This is examinable. So during week 4 of embryonic development, the primordial germ cells migrate from what? We said they are found in the yolk sac. So because they are found in the yolk sac, right now they're now moving from the what? From the walls of the yolk sac to the region called the gonads. So the primordial germ cells, which are giving us the gametes, they migrate from the what? The yolk sac to the what? The gonad region. During what week? During week 4. Which week is this? This week is the week the week which takes place in the development of a baby in the what? In the womb. Okay, so gonad region. So please make sure that you take note of this week. I'm encouraging each one of us to take note of this week, week 4. Week 4, the primordial germ cells, they migrate from the what? From the yolk sac to the gonad region. All right, okay. So from there, we also need to understand one thing. What process gives out gametes? What process give out gametes? So gametes are produced. Gametes are produced by the process called, I'm sure already someone has guessed. So gametes are produced by the process called gametogenesis. Gametes are produced by the process called gametogenesis. All right? So this gametogenesis is taking place. All right? We have the fetus, which is developing in the womb of a woman. And this same process is taking place inside that womb, but not in the woman, instead in the fetus. So the fetus, as it is developing, before it even becomes a baby, it is already making the sex cells. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that your sex cells, the sperms which you are able to see now, were produced before you were born. They were manufactured before you were even born. So this process of gametogenesis, it is the process which is giving out what? Which is giving out the what? The gametes. Please take note of that. So I have just mentioned gametogenesis. Gametogenesis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this process is taking place in male and female. Therefore, it has to have specific name. So this process, we are saying, where is it taking place? It is taking place in both male and female. It is taking place in both male and what? Female. Now, in the male, it is known as spermatogenesis. I'm sure that's very easy for everyone to remember. So in the male, it is known as what? Spermatogenesis. Okay? And then in the female, it is known as what? Oogenesis. Right? So with that being said, we need to understand that yes, the process of gametogenesis, it is the process which is giving us the gametes, and this process is happening both in male and female. And in male, it is known as spermatogenesis. In female, it is known as oogenesis. But both gametes which will be given out, they are all descendants of the primordial germ cells, which are found in the what? In the walls of the yolk sac. Okay, so spermatogenesis, ladies and gentlemen, it's giving us what? Sperms. Oogenesis is giving us what? Oocytes. And these two, when they come together, the female and the male, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, when they meet, they enjoy themselves. They are going to, this one comes, when this one comes, it produces the sperms. This one comes, they won't produce the oocyte. The oocytes are in the ovaries. So this sperm will enter into the vagina. The vagina there, it will be helped to move from the vaginal region by the contraction and relaxation of the hose, and also by the help of the tail of the sperm. It will move and it will reach the oocyte, and their fertilization will take place. But I'm not going to explain all that right now. Now, we have talked about one thing. We have said primordial germ cells are giving us gametes. So what does this mean? This means that gametogenesis takes place by the help of the process called meiosis. So gametogenesis takes place by the help of the process, okay, by the help of process called meiosis. So meiosis, it is the process which is responsible for the what? For this process called gametogenesis to take place. Now, what is meiosis? So meiosis is the type of cell division which give out 4 daughter cells, 4 different daughter cells. So meiosis is the type of cell division where the parent cell divides into 4 daughter cells, where the parent cells divide into 4 daughter cells, 4 daughter cells. So there is something special about meiosis. So the process of meiosis, it changes a cell from a diploid number to the haploid number. What I'm just saying is that the parent cell has a diploid number of chromosome. So the parent cell has the diploid, okay? It has the diploid number of what? Of chromosome. And then when you talk of the daughter cells, each daughter cell, the daughter cell, it has the what? The haploid, okay? The haploid number of what? Of chromosome. So when you talk of the diploid is written as 2n, and then the haploid is known as the n. I hope that has been understood. So from here, let's quickly look at the very important part which is giving us this process of meiosis, and this is chromosomes. So let's quickly discuss chromosomes. So when we talk of chromosomes, the first thing that I will explain first is the structure. So I'll draw the structure of a chromosome. So a chromosome has 2 parts. It has one, the short arm, and also the long arm. So for example, let me quickly put okay. So if this is a chromosome, okay, if this is a chromosome, I don't know why my systems are not working. Okay, let me just quickly connect. All right, thank you very much, and sorry for that. So when you talk of a chromosome has two arms. The chromosome has two arms. So it has the short arm and also the long arm. It has the short arm and also the long arm. So let me just quickly draw the structure of a chromosome, and please make sure that you know how to draw them, because in anatomy you are expected to draw. So this is a chromosome that I am drawing. Please don't mind my handwriting. Okay, yeah. So this is a chromosome, and this chromosome, we know that it is having the central part. So this is the central part we can talk about. So let me just use a different ink. So this is our central part. So this central part, it is attached, okay? It attaches the short arm and the what? And the long arm. So this is the central part. So this central part is what we call, or what we normally call, the centromere. So this is known as the centromere. Yeah, okay, maybe I write it this side so that it can be clear. So this region is known as the centromere, and then from there, as I said, it has two parts. It has the long arm and the short arm. So the short arm, which is this side, if you can see, this side is shorter than that side. So the short arm is known as the P arm. The short arm is known as the P arm, and this other side, the long arm, is known as the Q arm. So a chromosome has two arms. It has one, the short arm, and the what? And the long arm. And then these two guys are attached together, but by what we are calling the centromere. Then you need to understand one thing. These both arms are made up of DNA molecule. So this is the DNA strand which I'm drawing there. So this is just a DNA strand. Even this side, you need to expect some DNA strands which is just coiled, and as you know, a DNA molecule is normally double helix. A DNA molecule is double helix. All right, guys. Okay, so now with this structure in mind, let me quickly now give a quick explanation on the chromosome. So a single chromosome consists of two characteristic regions, like I have said from the drawing. So a single chromosome is made up of two characteristic regions. Okay, two characteristics region called what? Arms. Like I have said, we have the short and the long arm, of which I have already mentioned from the diagram. You have the short arm and what? Long arm. So these two, short arm and long arm, are separated by a region called the centromere. So the centromere is just separating these two regions, the short arm and the long arm, just from the diagram which I drew above here. So you can see the centromere is just simply separating the short arm, which is the P arm. Let me write this. So this guy, the short arm, which is above there, it is normally known as the what? The P arm. So this P arm and the Q arm, which is the long arm, they are separated by this region here, which is called the what? The centromere. Okay, so this, please make sure that you know every content. So this guy is the what? The short arm. This guy is the short arm. Okay, and then this other guy, which is down there, which is the Q, is known as the what? The long arm. The long arm. Okay, so these two regions are being separated. So this guy is just separating the two arms. He's just separating the two arms. It's just separating the two arms. Okay, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, during meiosis 1, get that right? Get that right? Get that point? Please get that point. During meiosis 1, okay, remember meiosis is divided into two. There is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So during meiosis 1, that a single chromosome, okay, a single chromosome undergoes what? DNA replication. Undergoes DNA replication. So this DNA replication is taking place in the cell. This DNA replication is taking place in the what? In the cell. And this DNA replication is taking place during meiosis 1. So when this happens, it's going to form two chromatids, which are consist of two sister chromatids. Okay, so a single chromosome undergoes DNA replication to produce, because it's a replication, to produce what? Two chromosomes. Okay, to produce two chromosomes. And these chromosomes, what do they have? They have what? They have what we are calling the two sister chromatids, with two sister chromatids. Okay, all this has happened in the meiosis 1. It is in the meiosis 1 where we have to expect such. Now, there's one thing that I've mentioned earlier on, and what I said was that this meiosis process, it leads to what? To the change, okay? To the change from diploid to haploid. From diploid to what? Haploid. This process of DNA replication, it is leading to this process of meiosis. It is leading to what? To the change from what? From diploid to haploid. So there is a keyword here. You can see from both names there is the word ploid, diploid, haploid. So the word ploid, it just refers to the number of chromosomes. It's just referred to the number of what? Chromosomes. Don't get confused. It's just the number of chromosomes we are talking about. So it just refers to the number of chromosomes where we are talking about the cell. So now, when we talk of diploid number, okay, diploid number of chromosome is simply said to be 2n, and this type of number of chromosome is found in what? It's found in the autosome. Okay, autosomal cells. It is found in the autosomal cells. Okay, so autosomal cells, these are just somatic cells. So these cells are non-sex cells. These cells are non-sex cells. They don't take part in any sexual related things. Okay, so autosomal cells are non-sex cells. Are non-sex cells. Okay, now an haploid number, okay, haploid number, it means that we are now talking about half number of chromosome, which is just what? N. And this guy is found in what? Sex cells. Okay, sex cells. And these sex cells, we said, are known as what? Gametes. Okay, all right. So for example, when we talk of these same gametes, remember gametes, we are talking about these two type of gametes. We're talking about the male gamete and the female gamete, isn't it? And then when you talk of the gametes, since they are separated into two, if you observe how a female behaves and how a male behaves, there is a big difference. Yeah. So if you look at that, you find that these are found in female, okay, and in female they are represented by XX, okay, and then these same cells are also found in male and they are known as XY. All right, so this is for normal what? For normal chromosome. So a normal somatic cell, a normal autosomal cell, a normal autosomal cell has 46 chromosomes. A normal autosomal cell has how many chromosomes? It has 46 chromosomes. This is both in male and female. So it has 46 what? Chromosomes. All right. Now, when you talk of gametes, okay, when you talk of gametes have half, okay, gametes have half of autosomal chromosome, meaning it has 23 what? Chromosome. By the way, these are very important in human anatomy, specifically embryology, because there are some complications that are caused due to either an excess or a reduction in the number of chromosomes. So as a medical student or anyone doing a health related program, you have to know that there are 23 chromosomes in the gametes, which are the sex cells, and there are 46 chromosomes in the autosomal cells. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are saying very nice subjects, gametes. We are saying that gametes have how many? 23 chromosomes. Like I said, I'll make sure that I break down my information into parts that you can understand. So the gametes are 23. Now, what are you supposed to know about this? So what you need to know about this is that, yes, this is 23, but these 23 are separated again into two, of which 22 are autosomes, okay? 22 are autosomes, and one is a sex chromosome. 22 are what? 22 are what? Autosome, and one is a sex chromosome. Okay? Remember, this is an haploid, which can be written as a 1N. All right. So, these 23 chromosome, like I have said, this 23 chromosome, one is what? One is a sex chromosome and 22 are autosomes. Okay, so let's quickly look at again the sex ones. So these sex ones can either be X or Y. Then what are we talking about? What we are just saying is that the sex chromosome, they determine the sex of every human being. For example, if a male human being produces a sperm, by the way, there are over 200 million, or you can say 300 million sperms that are produced in 3.5 mil of semen. So you are going to understand that amongst those 3,000, it's not all of them who are going to reach the ovary. Some they'll die, some were not mortal, some had some complications which we are going to talk about later. So for example, let's say I have a male guy, a male G, and this male guy, okay, let's say we have, this is a male guy who is there, okay, this male guy, and then we have a female guy, a female lady, okay. So you will all know that ladies, they have some dresses, yeah. So we all know that this female will only produce XX, but this one will produce either X or what? Y. This one will either produce X or Y. Okay, so because of that, if let's say this guy produces an X, if this guy produces an X, meaning the child will be what? A female. But if this guy produces a Y, then the child will be what? A male. So what does that mean? This means that the male determines the sex of the what? The baby or the fetus. So the male are the ones who are responsible of what? Of knowing or giving the sex of a child. Okay, or the sex of the child depends on the male. All right, by the way, remember that in normal human being, the Y chromosome is only in the male, but the X chromosome is found in the what? In the female. So a question rises from here. So you can be asked, how many possible types of chromosome are found in male? How many types of chromosomes are found? How many types of chromosome are found? Okay, one male, okay, and then two female. Okay, so when you ask such a question, you just need to know that because the male is having XY, that means that there is a possibility of having 24 types, and then this guy has only 23. So please make sure that you take note of that. By the way, the X chromosome is also known as the bar body. It's also known as the bar body. So in a case you are asked in an exam, make sure that you understand that. So in summary, what I've just given you today is that one, Gametes, they come from primordial germ cells, and these primordial germ cells, they are found in the walls of the yolk sac. And these primordial germ cells, they travel from the walls of the yolk sac to the gonad region in the 4th week. Then from there, we can simply add up the process of meiosis, the structure of chromosomes, and the type of chromosomes that we are supposed to know. So ladies and gentlemen, this was my part 1 of my lessons, and I'm going to share with you my part 2 in the next video. Remember, Excel Academy is offering health related courses online, and our classes are starting on 4th December. On 4th December. And these classes, they are going to be free of charge. Free of charge. For how long? For 1 week. And then after that, you'll be expected to pay a very, very minimal amount of money. So for more information, kindly contact us. You can go on our Facebook page, which is Excel Academy. Excel Academy. Okay. And then you can also contact us on 0965887474. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a blessed night. Thank you.